Good afternoon, Barb. How are you today?
I'm great. Wonderful. Thank you for asking. I hope things are calm there with the weather
Yeah,
already. Yep.
yeah, we've got a little bit of a storm going here, and we've got some of my area, the power is out, but we've got power. So praise God. I'm happy for that. And I'm
Oh,
happy that we could get together. I know when I first reached out to see if we could connect, you were on a wonderful European vacation celebrating your 40th wedding anniversary with your husband and Dr. Goshorn. So it's wonderful that you could find time in your schedule. I
thank
just want to
you.
thank you for that.
Thank you for taking the time to interview me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I want to introduce my audience to Barb Goshorn, just such a wonderful lady and shape practitioner. You've been
Mhm.
with us now for 11 years as a
Yeah.
shape practitioner. Barb is an RN and has two master's degrees. So she is a very, very educated when it comes to nutrition and the human body. And I would love for you to share with our listening audience, how did you learn about shape and what made you decide that even with all that you had already been doing with nutrition and the work with your clients, why you felt shape was a program that would really make a difference in your practice?
About 11 years ago, I guess it would have to be 11 years ago, my husband and I were at a conference, a chiropractic conference, and we were at a table with a young couple who had just started shape. And we spent the evening, and actually, we spent the whole conference talking to them about this shape program. And I was really intrigued. As soon as we got home, I contacted you guys, and very shortly afterwards, we began the shape program in our practice. So it was word of mouth.
Good, good. And I think right away, I mean, you guys jumped on board as practitioners, and it wasn't too long after that we had a symposium, and you jumped right on a plane and came to our symposium and got a
Absolutely.
feel for who Dr. Todd and I are and who we are as a company. And, you know, you really got to see firsthand our level of commitment and our
Hmm.
love for our practitioners. And, it's just been such a pleasure, getting to know you over these 11 years and continue working with you. I know when you started, you were the primary shape practitioner.
That's
And
correct.
you saw every new patient, you did all the follow ups, everything was just you personally. But you continued to get busier and busier as you had great clinical success. More and more people were coming, and it became this explosion in your practice. And you then started adding some support teams. So talk to me about that.
I started with one woman helping me. She had successfully completed the SHAPE program, as had her husband, and it really changed their lives. She was a type 2 diabetic, on many medications that are associated with that. So she was on metformin, high blood pressure medication, and Lipitor, as was her husband.
Oh my gosh.
With the shape program, she lost 60 pounds, her husband lost 80 pounds, and they just thought it was the greatest thing ever. So Amy is her name. About a year after she finished the program, I approached her and asked, would she be willing or able to help me with the program? So what I would do would be I would see all of the new patients, and um, she would do some of the follow-ups, not all. We would alternate oftentimes, and it
Mhm.
allowed me then to see more patients. And she's still with me today. So it's
And
been,
that's
I think,
wonderful.
probably about 9 or 10 years. She's one of my first patients, actually. So,
That's
so
great.
first I had Amy, and then as the program began to grow, I needed more help. So I added two other women. So all three of these women are school teachers. They're elementary school teachers, and they are very used to working with people. They're used to following a curriculum, which I think of SHAPE as a curriculum. That's how, there are systems that we use, and that's their education. They do that. They're great with their people skills. So Sue and Cindy probably did the SHAPE program about 6 years ago. Both have embraced SHAPE, the lifestyle of SHAPE. They kept their weight off, and now they have joined the team. So I have three women who are part of the SHAPE team.
Yeah, they're your support team. I say to practitioners all the time, I'm always working with our family of SHAPE practitioners
Yeah.
on a consistent basis. And then I'm vetting and talking to new inquiring practitioners that are looking into adding SHAPE into their practice. And some of them say, geez, I'm just so busy. I don't know if I have time. And I'm like, well, I get that. You can be the one that oversees it, but you can have a team of people that help you. There's still a level of responsibility for you. Of course, we
Absolutely.
urine.
Mhm.
And so we need to make sure that there is a credentialed professional, because we are a practitioner monitored program. And I love that you've got these helpers that help you matriculate all this, and you've been able to grow and grow and grow, and you have total oversight over all of these people, that their health has just been transformed from the inside out. So that's wonderful. Tell me about Dr. Chuck. How does Dr. Chuck feel about SHAPE, and when does he send folks to you?
He sends people to me when they have, number one, they come in and they say, I just feel terrible. So they're not coming in just like, I have back pain or whatever. The majority of his patients have multiple issues going on, as most people do in America, of course. A lot of obesity, a lot of medications. Those people that say those words, I just feel terrible. There's just nothing that, I just feel really old. He gives them some literature. We have literature in the office. So we have two businesses or practices side by side. So I have one building and he has another building. And so, but we have all the SHAPE information in with him, and he encourages them to make an appointment and see how the SHAPE program could help them. So I get a lot of referrals from him, and I get a lot from a number of practitioners in the area. So that's something that other SHAPE practitioners should know, that the longer you do SHAPE, the more SHAPE becomes word of mouth. So we don't do any advertisement. It's only word of mouth. And a lot of the people who are referred to us are primary care physicians, because they've had so many patients do the SHAPE program. They're aware the benefits of it. Their patients go off medication. Very seldom do people go off metformin, that they can keep their blood sugars low enough, their A1Cs low enough. So it's not just Dr. Chuck, and we have two other chiropractors that work with us, Dr. Steve and Dr. Idolo, but we have lots of physicians in the area. That's why I needed help.
Yeah, well, and that is wonderful.
Yeah.
We have been contacted by primary care physicians saying, okay, I've got this SHAPE practitioner in my community, and their patients or clients are I'm their primary and I'm lowering their medications, taking them off medications. Their labs are improving left and right. And I don't know anything about this SHAPE program. Like, tell me about your program. And many of them will jump on board and start offering SHAPE in their practice. Some of them are just like, we're just too busy. And they're happy just to send their people on to the SHAPE practitioner. And we had that when we were in practice. And you are having the same thing. You've got primary
Yeah.
practitioners that understand that SHAPE is a valid program that is very specific. We're practitioner monitored. We are very methodical with what we do. We're not some fad crazy thing that's going on. And we do help people turn around these lifestyle diseases, and we get them off medications left and right. So I love that that's happening for you, Barb.
And it's really interesting. I should stress too that we do not talk about SHAPE at all as weight loss.
Right.
We discuss it only as a lifestyle program. So it's not a fad diet. You can't lose 30 pounds for the wedding in a month. It's a lifestyle program where we incorporate all aspects, your stress, your sleep, your medications, where you are, if you're a female, in your, are you menopausal,
Right.
premenopausal, postmenopausal? So I think practitioners really appreciate that, because in our area of New York, there's a lot of these fad programs, guaranteed to lose 30 pounds in 40 days. If you don't lose at least 25, we'll reimburse you your money. And we're the total opposite of that.
Right.
And I think the practitioners appreciate that the weight loss coming off is secondary. These are lifestyle recommendations.
Absolutely. We're all about healing people from the inside out. People have a weight problem because they have an underlying inflammatory problem. And
That's
unless
correct.
we absolutely address the underlying inflammatory problem that they're having, we're just going to be another program that fails. And,
That's
people
correct.
have said to us so many times, why don't you just sell your product on Amazon? You'd sell a gazillion bottles. Well, yes, we would. But there are tons of programs out there that do that. And if somebody's not doing the program right, then they're going to go out and say, this is bogus and this doesn't work. And we don't want that for our product and our program. So we are, being in healthcare 43 years, we know that it's not easy for somebody to change their relationship with food. They need the kind of support that our practitioners give them. And, we're just going to remain practitioner monitored, and we're very targeted and very focused. We really care about helping people heal from the inside out and getting them off that crazy roller coaster. One of the things that we're concerned about now is the big push for GLP-1, semaglutide, Ozempic type drugs. And while we understand the need for this in some situations, it's become quite the vanity drug. And people don't realize the negative side effects. And you don't know if you're going to be a person that's going to have a negative side effect until you're already on it and you've got the negative side effect. And now you've got to deal with that. It's almost like playing Russian roulette. You just don't know. And I know that you have a very dear primary care practitioner, a very dear friend of yours, that there are times that you do send people to her for her to make this decision, but you also are very insistent that they stay with SHAPE. So explain why.
Because number one, my good friend who's the medical doctor also has a PhD in pharmacology. So she will discuss with them what's going on within the body. And that's really, really important. I don't think people understand exactly what's going on. She initially would not put anybody on it. But like me, sometimes you'll lose a person completely
Right.
if they don't have this extra
I don't know,
little
support or boost.
whatever we want to call it.
Right.
But the issue with me is that I will refer you to the doctor. It will be her decision, not my decision. So I will give you the ability to speak with her. But again, I'm not going to prescribe it for you.
Right.
And I will not do that unless I have the guarantee that you will stay on the SHAPE program. Because what people don't realize with these drugs is you kind of lose your appetite, you lose your craving, but if you don't eat a SHAPE, if you don't eat the way the SHAPE program is designed to eat, very low inflammatory, you have so much bloating and you have so much gas and belching, it's an embarrassment. So you wouldn't want to do that. And the other thing that I warn people of is you will always need to be on this medication. As soon as you go off the medication, whatever you've lost,
Right.
you will just regain. So you need to learn those habits. You have to learn how to eat properly. And so you must do the SHAPE program. Plus, as I said, that's the only way we found that people feel good. Otherwise, this belching and this bloating just doesn't, it doesn't work.
No,
Doesn't work at all.
there are so many negative side effects, and
Very many.
it's on their website. If you go to Ozempic or Wegovy's website, I mean, they will tell you what the side effects are, but in the world, they're not really talking about it very much. They're not promoting it. We revamped the homepage of our website and put a whole section on there. Of course, we believe that SHAPE is a better choice. It's healthier. We would prefer people try SHAPE first and foremost.
Try it.
Right?
Try it first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just sad that somebody's going to do these injections, suffer the side effects and the consequences, only to get to a point where they can no longer afford it, or they can't do it because they can't deal with the side effects anymore. And then they just go right back to where they started in the first place. They wasted all that money and they're no better off for it. And so,
we have done that, Linda. I have found that people have done Ozempic with SHAPE, but they really feel that it's the Ozempic, right? Yeah. So they lose the weight, can no longer afford it. I see them 6 months later, they come in, they're exactly where they were.
That's right.
They don't realize that if you don't keep those good habits, and the body is really smart, total weight gain. And it's happened over and over and over with me. And one of the big side effects I've found with my patients, so there's multiple side effects, but what I've seen is the bowel immobility and constantly being constipated.
Right.
It doesn't feel very good.
No.
And as I said, they don't realize once you get into that pharmaceutical component, you have to stay on it. So.
Well, because what that drug is doing is it's slowing down the entire digestive process. Yep. Listen, I've had practitioners call me saying they've got patients that have come to them that have had to surgically have impacted food, surgically removed. I've got another practitioner that has a colonics practice within her chiropractic practice, and she said in the past year her colonics practice has exploded, and it's all of these folks. And she said, I got folks coming that haven't pooped like 10 days or 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Right?
Like that is such toxicity. It's just not even funny. And I don't know, I just say we can't fight against big pharma. We can't. And it's out there. And we just have to be as diligent as we can
Right.
and educate and help people understand that there is a healthier way. Shape is a better choice. I'm grateful that when your patients do it, you don't work with them unless they're doing shape as well, because you don't want them to completely lose all the ground that you've gained. So that's great. How often, Barb, do you recommend? Well, first, let me ask, um, what percent of your patients do you believe learn enough and they've embraced a healthy lifestyle? So they, after they've reached their health goal and their weight goal, what percent do you think really have embraced that healthier lifestyle and they're choosing healthier foods?
Well, it's really interesting that you say this because in Alcoholics Anonymous, they always say relapse is part of recovery. So I have about 25% who really get it, and they make incredible lifestyle choices, and it really changes the trajectory of their life. 50% of the people I see do very well, but they fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
And they will come back to me again, and sometimes a third time. And many of them, so that 50%, of that 50%, probably 35% will then embrace the lifestyle and stick with it. So I think that humans being humans, we don't always get it the first time around.
No. And
I wish that we did,
right.
but
And
they
we say right in our program guidebook, sometimes people need the 2x4 upside their head. They will have dropped 50 pounds and they're all happy. And then they just, when they're done with the program, they go right back to all their old toxic habits, thinking that they're not going to revisit the way they used to be. And sometimes they have to realize that, okay, well, that doesn't work. Eating that way doesn't work. And I feel better when I eat this way. So do you, after they've reached their goal and you're ready to say, okay, this is great, wonderful, do you say, hey, I want to see you back once a year or twice a year or something like that? Let's just do, like a 21-day detox and cleanse periodically, because we want to make sure that we keep that inflammation controlled and we keep that weight down and we keep, strong, stable immune function.
So this is how I do it. For 2 years, I will see them every 3 months, or now my staff, okay? There's no charge at all. You come in, we do bioimpedance analysis in our program, which you and I didn't talk about, but that's the beauty of the shape drops along with the program, because I can prove to them they're not losing muscle.
Right.
In this program, you don't lose muscle mass, which is a really big deal. So they come in for no charge every 3 months, and they can do that for 2 years. We are very non-judgmental. So if they've fallen off the wagon, then they know that they can restart shape again. And many people do that. So we're very understanding of the human condition. And for sometimes, people are going to need more than one round. But the every 3 months for 2 years has really, you just kind of keep an eye on them. We do a office detox, a shape detox every January. I would really like to do it in July. I'd like it twice a year. In years past, I encouraged, put it this way, I always encourage people to do it a detox every 6 months.
Yeah.
but as an office, we do it together.
Oh, that's good.
January 1st, because people love that. The first of the year, everybody's doing it together. There's a lot of support, and
Yeah.
we do the SHAPE program for 3 weeks. It's a 3-week
Yeah.
kind of new year,
Yeah. A reboot.
new
Yeah.
lifestyle. Yes. But besides that, the encouragement is no charge.
And I love that. This is the first that I've heard. I love interviewing practitioners and hearing we always say, do what you do and add shape to it. And I love hearing the different perspectives. And I think having a no charge visit every 3 months just for a quick check-in is, it certainly helps them to want to maintain that relationship with you. Nothing's holding them back if they're not having to pay for that follow-up. So I think that's lovely. Barb, do you have patients that continue to take Shape Drops as a support supplement?
So this is really interesting, because I have people who on their 3-month visit want to buy drops and do the SHAPE program. And that's something I don't allow them to do. So I allow people to buy SHAPE drops if they have an autoimmune or they have an inflammatory condition.
Okay.
So that's the criteria. So people sometimes don't feel good after stopping the drops.
Right.
So
the drops are very supportive.
But the drops actually, I wish that the people in my program wouldn't do this, but they call them like the magic drops. It's like they're not magic drops.
Right.
But so if they have a true inflammatory condition, autoimmune, and remember, I've been a practitioner for 40 years. So there are some people who really, have underlying inflammatory issues.
Yeah.
Those people continue to take SHAPE drops.
Yeah.
Those on their 3-month or 6-month visit that have started to gain weight and maybe are a little out of control, they cannot have the SHAPE drops unless they restart the SHAPE program.
Well, and I think that's a good idea. Yeah. We have had practitioners that said, yeah, I sold drops, and then they went back and started doing the cleanse without being monitored, and somehow it went down. And so, yeah, we were always very, very conscientious about watching it. But, I'm a person that's been taking the drops for 15 years. I'm 68. I'm very, very healthy. I really feel it has done a very fine job of keeping me as healthy as I can. So I understand people feel better and they want to take the drops, but I like that you watch over and you monitor that very closely. Well, that's great. Barb, is there anything?
I take the drops too.
Yeah, right.
I do. I love the drops. I do notice a difference, but I do feel that they could be abused.
Absolutely.
And I'm not willing to be that practitioner that allows that to happen.
Very good. Is there anything in closing, Barb, that you would like to share with our family of practitioners or inquiring practitioners or the general public that's going to be watching? We're going to be putting this interview up on the homepage of our website. Is there anything that you would like to share with them that you feel about the SHAPE program and your feeling about bringing it into your practice? And
I think that for a practitioner, it is a very, very rewarding program. I would definitely encourage every practitioner to have SHAPE in their program or in their practice, because it is so rewarding. Practitioners love to have these stories where, I've helped somebody, I've changed their health, I've changed their life, and then you get a call from their practitioner, this has been wonderful, their primary practitioner. And also for practitioners like me that for one reason or another are getting older. I'm, as I said, 65. I have grandchildren now that I watch. I have my elderly father that I watch, and
Right.
you keep getting stretched thinner and thinner. It's important for them to know you can still do this program. You don't have to have your hands on every single component, which most of us as practitioners like to do that. We
Right.
don't like to
Right.
delegate. It's hard to delegate, but I would highly recommend that they absolutely continue as a shape practitioner as they begin to, I wouldn't say retire,
But yeah,
but
just
I
kind
would
of,
say,
yeah, phase down a little bit.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
We've been thrilled. We've been
Well,
really thrilled with the program. And it's funny too, Linda, we don't change it at all.
yeah.
I think I'm doing the exact same program that when I started 11 years ago. I love the program then. I love the program now. I don't think healthy lifestyle, you get fads and whatnot, but I've kept the
Mm.
program exactly the same, and it works beautifully.
Well, when we created this, we'd been in the trenches a long time and we'd seen every
Yeah.
diet come and go, and we'd worked with patients on every single level. And I think the reason why ours is so stable and successful is because we stay true to eating food that God has put on this earth. We
Yeah.
are firm believers that is that God created us, and we believe that God created the food to sustain us, and we stick close to that, eating as clean as and anti-inflammatory, and we stay away from man-made, chemically processed food. So, Barb, it's been a pleasure interviewing you today. I want to thank you for your time, and please thank Dr. Chuck. I'm just so grateful that you guys are a part of our Shape family, and I look forward to continuing to work with you and your team. They're wonderful. They always come to our symposiums, and we absolutely love, spending a long weekend with them. So thanks so much, and we'll be in touch. We're always a phone call away, and I look forward to chatting with you real soon, okay?
Thank you.